to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I'm Christine Lisi. The official announcement today from Arkansas, John Calipari is its new men's basketball coach. 5-year deal, starting salary $7 million annually, $1.5 million less than what he was making at Kentucky. NBA Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo has avoided a serious Achilles injury after last night's fall. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting his left Achilles tendon is fully intact. His return to play depends on how quickly his calf strain heals. It's not just on the Bucks players to make sure they hang on to second in the East in Giannis's absence, points out ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
Now it's a chance for Doc Rivers to actually shut a lot of people up. He gets to start to change the narrative, right? Because he's going to have to coach, really dive into his bag, and I believe he can. I believe he will. I mean, it's going to be a hard task, but I think they got enough pieces to get it done and to survive until Giannis gets back.
The NHL is preparing a contingency plan that could relocate the Arizona Coyotes to Utah next season. The league is skeptical about the team's newest plan to build an arena in Phoenix, reports ESPN's Emily Kaplan and Greg Wyshynski.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Thursday. We know Caleb Williams will be the first quarterback drafted, but I'll tell you who will be second off the board when I reveal my mock 2.0. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom. Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hope everybody made it through the bad weather today.
Hump day.
Know there were a lot of people negatively affected.
It's hump day.
Prayers up. If we can help, let us know.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Meantime, we try to provide a 3-hour distraction for you.
Hump day.
For all you parents whose kids were home from school today,
It's hump day.
sincere apologies.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not my fault, but I can certainly empathize because my kid was home today too.
Hump day.
And my wife.
It's hump day.
Let's just say I'm happy to be at work.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Something you don't know nothing about yet, Muse. Don't know nothing about that yet. One day, though.
Correct, I have no clue.
Your day is coming, friend.
It's hump day.
Paul and Opal on daycare.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He's actually home sick today.
Oh. Sorry to hear that. Prayers up, Rope. Get well soon, Opal. Opal O'Neal.
It's hump day.
O2, O squared. Do y'all call her O squared, O2?
We have not tried that one yet, no.
Oxygen.
See, you just took it to a different level.
That's O2.
I get it. But O2, O squared, like, that's cool. You're not going to call the baby Oxygen. You know what I mean? Hey, Paul, how about we call your daughter Oxygen?
Never mind.
Hey, what do you think's better? Hey, Paul, what do you think's a better nickname for your daughter? O2, O squared, or Oxygen?
I'll go O2.
Hey, Oxygen, why don't you come on over here?
What about Oxy?
Well, now that sounds like a pimple. Feels like a pimple pad.
Huh? Okay.
OxyClean, right?
OxyClean?
Or OxyContin. Now we're talking about narcotics.
Okay, see, now you took it to another level.
See what you did
no,
there?
you did that.
That's the natural progression of what happened here. Okay, we got a lot to do, I promise. Let's get going. We start as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
That is the most random hump day open ever. Somehow we talked about oxygen, narcotics, whatever. Okay. We do have a ton to get to today. LSU will wrap up spring on Saturday with the spring game, and we already know that one player is leaving, hitting the portal. On threes, Pete Nakos had it first. The Jaxon Howard, LSU defensive end, is entering the portal. A couple of things here. Howard, I do want to talk about Howard as a player and all of the stuff sort of that's entailed here. But I think the most important thing to remember here is Jaxon Howard might be the first LSU player to hit the portal here in this cycle, but he is most certainly not going to be the last. I did a very unofficial count today of LSU's roster. And with Jaxon Howard leaving, I believe they are at 88 scholarship players. Now, that's scholarship players for the fall. That means that's including the freshmen that are not here yet and the transfer players like Gio Paez who are not here yet. But so my unofficial count is that they're at 88. Meaning before you add anybody else, like if you want to go add another defensive lineman, you want to go add anybody else in this spring portal cycle, you gotta lose 3 more scholarship players before you even add anybody else. So they're heavy right now. So Jaxon Howard leaving is sort of a necessity, and you're going to see more scholarship players leave as well because you're heavy. You're over the scholarship number. And Brian Kelly has said they want to be more active in this spring portal window, especially at defensive line. So you're going to see more of this. So it's just part of it. Remember, in this day and age, every single school, every single program, without exception, in every portal window is going to have players leave. There are no exceptions. Because when you're talking about a roster of 85 scholarship players, someone in that 85 is going to not like their playing time, is going to want to seek an NIL opportunity. Without exception, every single program is going to have somebody leave. And LSU is going to have more. Howard, when he signed with LSU, was the number one player in the state of Minnesota. He was the number one player in the state of Minnesota, 6'4" defensive end. He was the number 16 edge rusher in the country, and Curtis Yvonne 3 was the number 120 overall player in the country. So a good prospect, a really good prospect. But I think while it's disappointing that a promising young player is leaving your program after 1 year, but this tells me 2 things. I have 2 big takeaways from this Jaxon Howard situation. One of them is going to underscore something I've said many times about other positions. 2 big takeaways. Number 1, you don't need to go to Minnesota to get a 4-star defensive end. Look, if you want to go to Michigan to get the number 1 player in the country for 2025, Bryce Underwood, yes. If you want to go to LA to get the number 1 cornerback in the country in Eli Ricks, yes. Going to Minnesota to get a 4-star defensive end who is the 16th best player in the country at his position, more in this era can go wrong than go right. For example, LSU just signed the 2024 class. Here are your edge rushers. Kalaj Cobbins. Anybody know where he's from? Muse? Paulie? Y'all know where Kalaj Cobbins is from?
I don't, but I'll say Georgia.
Destrehan. Yeah. Gabe Relaford. Anybody know where Gabe Relaford's from?
He's from Shreveport.
Shreveport. Where are Destrehan and Shreveport, by the way?
Louisiana.
Yes. Very good, Muse. Give yourself a ding.
All right.
One more. Ahmad Bro. Anybody know where Ahmad Bro is from?
Acadiana?
No, it'd be Ruston. Where is Ruston?
Louisiana.
So Destrehan, Shreveport, and Ruston. Anybody got the commonality?
Louisiana.
Oh my God, you're on fire today, Muse. I am so excited about this show today. I mean, just wait till about 4:20. It's all going to come crashing down from Muse. But right now, he's on fire, Paulie. At 4:20, something else is going to be on fire. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Sorry. They did also sign C.J. Jackson from Tucker, Georgia. Okay? So he had 4. But 3 of them are from Louisiana. This goes back to the point I made all last year with Brian Polian. When you looked at the cornerbacks that LSU was recruiting, and you're flying to Vegas to recruit a 3-star corner. You got to do that when you're at Notre Dame. You don't have to do that when you're at LSU. Just go down to the river parishes, and Kalaj Cobbins is right there at Destrehan. Take a 20-minute flight to Shreveport and go see Gabe Relaford and Ahmad Bro. Like, you don't have to go to Minnesota to get a guy who's the 16th best player in the country at his position. If it's a 5-star number 1, yes. Bryce Underwood, absolutely. But this is the problem. You got so much talent in this state. And guys, and it's not to say Jaxon Howard isn't going to be a good player, but the point is, you get a guy from Louisiana that grew up aching to wear the purple and gold. It's all he ever wanted to do. He's more likely going to stay and grow and develop. Look at Savion Jones. It's a great example of that. A guy who stayed, waited his turn, and he's going to have 2 years as a starter. They're going to be good years as a starting defensive end for LSU. I can go through guys like Lloyd Cushenberry, a guy from Dutchtown, who waited his turn, finally became a starter, was a 2-year starter, got drafted, and was the highest paid center in the league. Like, you're from Louisiana, you'll wait, you'll stay, you'll build continuity. It's why Brian Kelly wanted to go in the portal and get guys from Louisiana who wanted to play at LSU. So that's one big overarching takeaway. You don't have to go to St. Paul, Minnesota to get the 16th best defensive end in the country. That's 1. 2, your defensive line depth is good. I told you this coming out of the scrimmage on Saturday when we had media availability. The 1s on offense dominated the first defense. First offense dominated the first defense. But when the 2s went in, the defense had a noticeable upper hand. The 2s and the 3s. I told you, a guy like Gabe Relaford had some massive rep wins against Tyree Adams, who's running as your number 2 left tackle right now. I mean, we saw the 2s have the upper hand, which my takeaway is, yes, you have really good depth and young talent coming up on that defense that's going to make you much better in time. I mean, right now, your starting ends are Savion Jones and Braden Swinson. After that, it's Parrish Shannon, Deshaun Womack. So at best, Jaxon Howard was going to be your 5th defensive end, at best, this year. He's on the 3 deep, at best on the 3 deep. And now you've got Relaford and Bro and Cobbins. I know Kalaj Cobbins is listed as a linebacker, but when we saw him in practice, he's working with the ends. He's working with the edge rushers with Kevin Peoples. So, and you may go get more out of the portal. I guess my point is, you got plenty of good young talent on that defensive line. You never want to lose good young players, and I understand that, but it's part of the cycle. Now you just have to replenish. But stick to your home base. Stick to your home base because, yeah, Kalaj Cobbins is right there, and Gabe Relaford is up there, and Ahmad Bro is over there. You don't have to leave the boot. You know who knows that? Frank Wilson knows that. You know who didn't understand that? Brian Polian. And Brian Kelly is now getting it as well. All right. Jaxon Howard, first to lead, but he ain't going to be the last. All right, it's After Further Review. Show open every day, brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the Tigers, official beer of the Saints as well. Man, moving through the springtime crawfish boils, beautiful days out back, firing up the grill at the ballpark. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Bud Light, drink easy in Louisiana. Okay. Quick break. Masters gets underway on Thursday. Our buddy John Peterson's going to be good enough to join us for a couple of minutes when we come back. Always great to catch up with an LSU legend, former national champion John Peterson, of course, PGA Tour pro, famously led the Masters. I mean, it was for two holes. Whatever it was. John Peterson led them, and every year on the opening day of the Masters, John Peterson tweets the screenshot of him in first.
As he should.
I would too. I absolutely would. All right. It's After Further Review. John Peterson next. Stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Darren James & Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. You know where to find them. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Hey, I want to remind you, my buddy Darren James wanted me to mention this all throughout this week and use these ads to promote this. So Tyler Alexander, who's one of the agents on Darren's team and is a friend, candidly, Tyler's mom has a form of Parkinson's disease that was sort of early onset for young adults. It's something she's dealt with for a long time. She's now facing a surgery, a procedure that can help limit the effects. And this Saturday, they're going to have a jambalaya benefit for her. Her name is Christy Hunt. And the jambalaya benefit starts at 10:30 a.m. It's going to be at the Oak Point in Watson, $10 a plate. If you can't be there, there is a Venmo where you can contribute if you'd like to for Christy Hunt.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
If everything comes together, I think I can get one more. Want me to describe that any more than that, or we're good?
The voice of the one and only Tiger Woods on the eve of the Masters. Does he have another one in him? Always love this time of year. The Masters is a tournament that brings golf fanatics and casuals together all in one. It's also a great opportunity for us to catch up with our buddy John Peterson, 2011 national champ out at LSU, of course, who played there at the Masters and very famously led the Masters, which he always reminds us on the opening round of the Masters, and I love that he does. He's here with us now. John, how are you, man?
Yeah, that's the most predictable post in Instagram history, I think, is my leaderboard screenshot from 2013. But, yeah, it'll come tomorrow, so just wait on it. It'll be there.
That and the, ladies and gentlemen, the weekend post every Friday evening that pops up on Twitter. I get it. I don't know if everybody else gets this as well. Hey, do you think Tiger really has one more in him?
No,
Okay.
no, Matt. I think Tiger is at the point in his career where he's kind of holding on for himself. I don't think he's totally convinced himself yet that he's ready to be done. All the signs point to him being done, 3 or 4 years ago. That last accident at Riviera, that would have killed mere mortals. But Tiger Woods, he's had 30 surgeries, something like that. He always seems to surprise us one more time, but
yeah.
I just think at 48 years old, there's just no chance anymore. And I think he's just not fully convinced in his own mind that he's done yet.
It's your obligatory Tiger question. But so you look and you go, okay, well, Phil last year made a hell of a run at this. And some guys that know that course and play, I mean, you've played it, John. You played in this event. There's some guys that just seem to elevate at this event. So, what was it a year ago that allowed Phil to be there on Sunday right there?
I mean, not having 30 surgeries.
I'm not comparing. No. I'm not comparing him to Tiger. I'm just saying on its own, right? What did Phil do so well that allowed him to be there?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think Phil just feels as if he can compete at Augusta National into his 60s. He just goes there and something clicks for him, and he gets on property and horses for courses, right? We talk about it all the time in golf. People could go shoot 80 at a course they don't like, and you're a pro golfer, and then all of a sudden you get on somewhere you like and you shoot 68 every day. And it's just what fits your eye. And for whatever reason, Augusta National fits Phil Mickelson's eye, and he feels like he can compete there no matter what his recent form is. And, when I was playing, I liked playing certain courses, didn't like playing certain courses. And I totally understand why he pulls in that place and feels like he can win at 52 years old.
What did you like about playing, not only playing Augusta, but playing in this event? And I'm not talking about necessarily just the pageantry, right? But being on that course in this event.
So what's wild about that place is when you qualify, usually the year before, you either win or you play good in another major and you qualify, right? And that happens the year prior. So you can go play as many practice rounds as you want after the calendar year switches. So I qualified via my U.S. Open performance. So that was in June. I had to wait 6 months before I had a practice round. But once January 1st rolled around, I was there almost every weekend. I was there probably 10 times between then and the tournament. But they give you this little credit card, okay? And it says Masters 2013 on it. I still have it. And everything that you do between January 1st and the actual tournament goes on that credit card. And they send you a bill after the tournament's over that is net. Your earnings are net of what you spent for those 4 months, which was wild. I didn't know that until I actually competed in the tournament and got my bill. I was like, crap, I spent $3,000 at this place taken out of my check. I basically broke even for the week after my house rental and all that.
I was gonna say I'm surprised it wasn't more.
Well, this was back when I was living in Indigo Park right there on Nicholson. I had nothing. Brother, I was poor. So I had to be the poorest Masters contestant since ever, maybe.
Oh, man. The struggle is real, but what an experience. John Peterson's our guest. Hey, there's a lot of talk about guys like Koepka, right? What about the live guys that play live and then they just come over to play the majors? I mean, do you feel there is, or what is any potential impact there?
I think there's probably less strife between the PGA Tour guys and the LIV guys now than there used to be. It's been 2 years, right? I mean, there was certainly a lot of back and forth back in 2021 and 22, but now we're 2 years into this. Guys have chosen their sides, and everybody kind of lives with it, right? And you've seen guys like Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson, I mean, world beaters go over there, and they're getting along and playing practice rounds with Rory and regular PGA Tour guys. So I just don't see any animosity anymore. Anything that's done on Golf Channel with Brandel Chambly, I think it's all fabricated at this point, and none of it's real.
John Peterson's with us here for a couple more minutes, previewing the Masters, which gets underway, obviously, tomorrow. And everybody here, of course, going to keep an eye on Sam Burns. How do you think Sam stacks up in this field?
Oh, Sam has a great shot. And I think you asked me this last year, but I just love Sam Burns' game. He is waiting on his first child right now. So, he could be withdrawing. I mean, Caroline's due any day. So if she has that baby, tomorrow or the next day, he's gone, and he would gladly do that, knowing Sam, right? That's much more of a priority than golf to him. So, but if she makes it through the week, I mean, Sam's in a great space mentally. I think he has a great week. He hits the ball great. He's obviously a fantastic putter. I think he has a big week if Meredith can hold off if Caroline can hold off on having the baby. Meredith Scheffler is actually pregnant too.
That's why
I said that.
That was my next question, John. So the same is true for Scotty Scheffler, right? I mean, he's the odds-on favorite to win the thing, but if his wife gives birth, he would withdraw as well, right? Yeah, definitely. Those Sam and Scotty are very similar in that regard, and yes, he'd totally be out of there too. Which I've seen some numbers on Calcutta that Scotty's sold for, and there would be a lot of mad people around the country paying big money for him if he was to do that. But most importantly, obviously, both ladies have just amazing experiences, and the babies are healthy when they come, and all the things that obviously matter way more than golf. But this is huge stakes in the sporting world. Everybody understands that. John, is there anyone well, let me ask another one. I know I ask every year, but just for this season. And so much of the time, weather, look, I mean, last year it was cold at the Masters. How do you expect the course to play this weekend based on what the weather projections are, and whose game might that suit this weekend specifically?
I love Rory this week. And I hadn't liked him in the Masters for a while, but he's kind of calmed down. He's not really leading the front lines anymore against LIV. He's kind of taking a backseat, a more mature approach to the entire situation. He's not throwing himself out there. If you watch the Netflix Full Swing, he was very mad last year. He's kind of gotten over everything. He's playing better. He had a third last week in San Antonio. And I just, with the weather that's coming in and soft and everything, I love a guy that hits it high and carries it a long way and can control his spinner on that place. I've got Rory in my Calcutta. That's the guy I have, and I think he breaks through this week. I think he gets it done. I think he gets the Grand Slam done.
Okay, you think Rory wins?
I think Rory wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else that you like? I mean, if you're looking at, I don't mean just specifically from a gambling perspective, but like top tens, maybe someone who aren't the obvious chalk answers here that might rise up and have a good weekend.
Joaquin Neiman, he's the top 10. Lock it in.
Okay. Now
Lock it in.
Now I am thinking, all right, I'm gonna go play that. All right, hang on, let me get my DraftKings account up right now. All right, Joaquin Neiman, we like Rory to win. Hey John, last thing for you, man. We always love talking to you, man. Obviously, a great former Tiger, national champion. I mean, your purple and gold, ties run deep, and everybody always just loves your love for LSU. What, as you think now, I guess, what are we, 11 years removed from when you went and played the Masters, and what are the memories, the moments, or the things when I say, hey, tell me about that 2013 Masters? Like, what's the first thing that's going to come in your mind that you'll tell people forever?
I'd probably say my practice round. I got to play with David Toms, and I've probably mentioned it on your show before how big of a mentor he was to me when I was at LSU. So he was my favorite player when I was a kid, and I got to caddy for him at the Colonial in Fort Worth when I was like 12. So then I went to LSU, and he was a mentor to me. And then I played with him in the U.S. Open in 12, and I had that hole-in-one. And then I got to play a practice round with him at Augusta. And it was kind of the icing on top of the cake for me and my professional career. But DT's always been great to me. I can call him for anything. And I'll remember that practice round more than anything. So it's probably that. I didn't play great in the tournament. I think I finished 50-something, but I did make the cut. So I got to play 4 rounds. But I would say the practice round was easily my most memorable moment of that week.
You made the cut, and as we know, you did lead the tournament as well through a hole, and it's right there, the screen grab to prove it. And we'll look forward to seeing it tomorrow on Instagram and on Twitter. Hey, John, it's always a pleasure, man. Hope you and the family are well. We appreciate a couple of minutes.
Hey, you bet, Matt. I enjoy coming on.
Thanks, man. We'll do it again soon. That is John Peterson, of course, 2011 national champion over at LSU, and a guy who had a top 10 at the U.S. Open, got to play in the Masters back in 2013, and as he said, made the cut. I love those stories just about this tournament. There's something, the intangibles associated with the Masters, right? And I know you said, well, the azaleas in bloom and Amen Corner and just all the things, the green jacket, all the things that for whatever reason, it's just all of the sort of majesty that's cloaked around this tournament. It's just different than all the other ones, and it's really cool. By the way, so Joaquin Niemann, top 10. You playing that? Locking that in? Joaquin Niemann,
I actually
top 10?
probably will, yeah.
I mean, he was confident.
Yeah,
he was confident. Like, that was like, lock it in.
Yeah.
Joaquin Niemann's the top 10. And Rory, let's take a shot,
Why not? I mean, I was already going to play Rory to top 10, but hey, to win it, let's see.
Otter will be here later. Candidly, I did not get to hear Jimmy's show today, but for those who do plan on betting the Masters, one of the things Jimmy does, he gets all his handicappers, then he gives out the consensus pick. So let's say he talks to 10 handicappers. If all of them give a name, he'll give out whoever the consensus picks were. So that's generally what I do. I'll say, okay, well, if there were these consensus picks from all these handicappers, that's what I'll play. So if you are looking to bet the Masters, that's a good option, and Jimmy will be with us at the end of the show today if you want to get your picks in. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all. Oh, yeah, they now do indoor shutters as well. One of the things, I'll tell you, honest to goodness, this morning, when that awful weather was coming through this morning, I was sitting in our den, and I'm watching all the trees bend, at 45-degree angles. And when we had the energy-efficient replacement windows installed, we had the windows that are Cat 5 approved, the impact-resistant windows. So it's one of those things where I know, even though the weather's bad and they say don't stand near windows going into rooms, like Cat 5 hurricane approved in Miami-Dade County, those windows don't break. That's the one where you've seen Brandon Holly with a crowbar like beating a window, and it doesn't break through. That's the windows I have at my house. So not only does it add, is it going to lower your energy bills, adds an extra layer of security to your home as well. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding. They do indoor shutters as well. ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. We got a ton. Let's see. We got Kurt Helin coming up next hour from NBC Sports, NBA writer. Want to get a national perspective on the Pels. What a massive win for New Orleans on a day where the Suns lost as well. So the Pelicans are now back in the 6. They're in the playoff, avoiding the play-in with 3 to go. So we'll get a national perspective coming up next hour. And the Saints are welcoming a running back, a well-known running back on a top 30 visit. I want to get to that as well. So we got a ton to do. Glad you're here. We'll talk about LSU baseball, their win over McNeese coming up as well. Stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Well, the weather today stinks, no doubt. But it's going to clear up and be beautiful the rest of the week and into the weekend. And it is an awesome time to get on by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Clegg's, they're just the best. Full greenhouses, all the decor, indoor and outdoor that you need. If you need garden decor, they've got it. You want garden flags, you want those outdoor mats, they've got it. You want tuned wind chimes, a beautiful accent piece to anybody's outdoor space. Bird feeders, hummingbird feeders, so many beautiful ways to accent your outdoor space. And, of course, the best selection of flowers and plants and trees and shrubs. They got Johnny Naylor seeds. The point is, if you're doing anything in your lawn or your garden around your house, Clegg's has it. They're the best. You need weed and feed for your lawn, Clegg's has it. You need things to get rid of things like mosquitoes or snakes and roaches. Like, they got it. All the pests that you don't want in your lawn and garden, they can help you. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Live After 5 is back this spring.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went to go read, and I coughed immediately. Sorry about that. Anyway, Live After 5 is back this spring. Clock out and rock out with us Fridays from April 12th. Clock out and rock out.
Make sure you pronounce that L, Muse.
I did. That's what you do at Live at 5.
Live what?
Live at 5.
Live after 5.
Yeah, Live After 5.
Yeah, you see?
You clock out and
yes,
rock out.
You clock out.
And
rock out.
Rock out.
At Live
yeah.
After 5.
Fridays from April 12th through May 24th in downtown Baton Rouge.
Make sure we're using the proper preposition there.
Free concert series, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. You should join us for another season filled with incredible music, delicious food, talented artists, and a lively second line parade. This Friday, come out to see Groovy 7 for Live After 5.
Paulie, what's wrong with your guy over there? It's only 3:38.
I think he's getting ready over here.
Started early today. Bear Alexander. Remember him? Big time defensive line prospect. Went to Georgia, was there for a year, transferred to USC. And on Monday, No, today's Tuesday. So it was Tuesday. Tuesday, Bear Alexander, we heard from Hayes Fawcett, reported that Bear Alexander was going in the portal. And, Hayes Fawcett is like the most reputable recruiting source in the world because all these kids tell him what they're doing, and because he does the edit for him. Well, so yesterday Hayes Fawcett had an edit that Bear Alexander was going in the portal. And today Bear Alexander goes on Twitter and posts, "I'm not crystal clear on all of the noise or what any of this portal mess is about. I'm here to finish what I started, and that's chasing a natty here at USC with my teammates. #FightOn." Okay. Well, that's cool. Good for you. Maybe don't have Hayes Fawcett do an edit for you before you go to the portal next time.
Yeah, you're not crystal clear. I mean, it's kind of your idea, dude.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what's confusing. By the way, Bear Alexander doesn't exactly deserve the benefit of the doubt. If you don't know his story, he went to 2 different high schools before going to IMG, and then now he played Georgia and SC. So, that's 3, 4, 5 schools in 5 years. So if he had transferred out of SC, that would have been 6 schools in 6 years, which is kind of believable. And I'm not even mad at him if he did that. You want to go be a free agent and get paid every year? Okay. But, I'll agree. Doesn't really deserve the benefit of the doubt here. It's kind of a little path here, a little history of that.
Yeah, I just like the wasn't me approach, to be quite honest.
Taylor wasn't your.
It wasn't me. I'm not crystal. I didn't do that. I'm not crystal clear on that. Deny.
We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. We'll go around the SEC in just a smidge. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Gentlemen, thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels for whatever occasion it may be. If it's a birthday, if it's an anniversary, certainly all the holidays as well. Mother's Day is coming up. Make mom smile ear to ear with a beautiful gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're just the best. Remember, they will never sell lab or man-made diamonds. Always, it's man-made is sort of like a technology play, and what is a man-made diamond worth? Who it's man-made. Who knows? At Lee Michaels, you're always going to get one of the finest diamonds in the world from the finest diamond mines in India. Every diamond is hand inspected by a family member before it goes in the case at Lee Michaels. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has officially announced John Calipari as its new head basketball coach, the 14th in program history. Salary beginning at $7 million per season with escalators, could go higher. A 5-year deal will average out to between $7.5 and $8 million annually. Calipari also said to have an NIL package in excess of $5 million annually.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Meanwhile, Kentucky are reportedly going to meet with Baylor head coach Scott Drew regarding its coaching vacancy. The crazy thing is Scott Drew posted on Twitter on Wednesday after these news reports, having lunch at a great place in Waco. There's a picture of Scott Drew just having lunch with a buddy in Waco, not basically saying, nope, not in Lexington, I'm here in Waco. Of course, the Bears won the national title back in 2021. Nate Oates, Jay Wright removed their names from consideration in Lexington.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Keyshawn Murphy is entering the transfer portal. 6'10" forward, spent the last 3 seasons in Starkville, played in 39 games over those 3 seasons. He's the 4th scholarship. Did I just knock over a cup? Something is back there. He's the 4th scholarship player to enter the portal since the season ended. State now has 6 scholarship slots to fill.
The Auburn Tigers.
Hugh Freeze landed a commitment on Wednesday. Carday Smith, a 4-star offensive lineman, 6'6", 285. He's a big one. Auburn was the first SEC program to offer Smith. He was also considering Florida State and Mississippi State. He's the 23rd best offensive tackle for 2025, the 16th best prospect in Alabama.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss got another commitment. 2025 receiver out of the state of Alabama, Dylan Alfred, who actually originally from the state of Mississippi. He's a 3-star prospect from On 3. Also had offers from Missouri, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Auburn.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And South Carolina landed its second commitment of the day late Tuesday. DeMarcus Leach committed to the Gamecocks. He's a 3-star safety out of South Carolina. Had offers from Cincinnati, Duke, and Georgia Tech. 6'2", 180. Number 683 overall in the country. 53rd best safety. Third commitment for South Carolina's class of 2025. Okay, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro coming to wrap up hour number 1. If you got a booze question, get it in. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Incidentally, also, if you did have issues with your roof, you can text me at that same number. I'm more than happy to help facilitate any roof repair, replacement, tarping you may need. You can text me at that number. I'm happy to help connect you with all of our folks. 364-1007. All right, it's after further review. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro is next.
AFR.
Y'all, I've loved being able to share some great stories about our friends over at Action Industries. A great Louisiana-based business that's been around for more than 40 years. One of the things I loved so much, hearing the Action Industry stories is as they wanted to expand, they went through this pivotal moment in their business where they realized like they had to actually scale back in certain areas to be able to then go forward, which takes so much humility when you've been around for as long as they have. But when it comes to Action Industries, you're dealing with great local people. I've loved so much getting to know Mike Medine and Chuck Montero and so many of the great folks. Adam Rabelais was at Connie Smith. They were with us at the Pels game last week, which was so much fun to be able to hang with them and kind of get to know them even better. And so when I endorse companies, I'm not just endorsing the work they do, I'm endorsing the people. And that's one of the things about Action Industries that really stands out. Now, their work does as well. Their safety record beats the industry standard. They do amazing work. They offer fabrication shop services as well, pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels. They do it all. It's Action Industries. Y'all check them out online, Action Industries.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. but our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. After further
You're
review
the gang
with Matt...
with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
Happens to me. Sometimes you see two buttons whenever you're, double vision,
No, actually,
You know what I mean?
sometimes when you grab the mouse,
I mean?
you just accidentally click the end of it. But
Taylor Calandro's with us. How are you, dude?
420 somewhere, Matt.
You too, Taylor. Really, you too.
A2 Taylor.
A2 Taylor.
I'm on the East Coast
I'm
right
listening to it, so, huh?
On the East Coast right now. It's 4:50 right now on the East Coast. It's setting in, you know what I mean? Makes sense, doesn't it? Maybe got just a little confused at the time. Maybe what happened is power outage earlier, potentially. His clock got reset, and so he just lost track of time. Could have happened.
Yeah. Dude, my power went out earlier, and I've been stuck at home with two kids without power, but it finally came back on. I need whiskey.
What you need is a generator from Optimize. Go to generatorpeople.com. Generatorpeople.com.
Both of my neighbors have generators, and it just makes me sick when the power goes out because I have to listen to their generators.
Well, what you should do then is get a generator. It's
right. Yeah.
Get a generator. Like, don't be stuck at your home without power. Get a generator. Call Optimize.
Yep.
Go to generatorpeople.com. Okay. What's new?
So we got one or I don't even know how many we got, but we got the Whistle Pig Piggy Bank. There, I know there's one on the shelf right now. They're not going to hold it for anybody. It's if you're not familiar with it, it's a piggy bank. It's a pig-looking decanter.
Yeah.
Got a Whistle Pig pin in it. It's kind of hard to get, and they're collectible.
Will you hold it for me?
I'm not there, so no. No, I don't hold anything anyway. Anyway, also we got some scotch today. Lagavulin Nick Offerman edition. I think it's the 11-year. Nick Offerman plays Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation, and when Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation, he drinks Lagavulin. And the Nick Offerman edition, I think from 2 or 3 years ago, won the Scotch Whiskey of the Year. So, $90.
Any? I know your first love is beer. I don't think there's anybody that I know that has a more vast beer knowledge. Anything new seasonal that you would recommend right about now?
I think Abita is about to come out with, and I'm not sure, it might have hit already, a creamsicle IPA, which would be orange and vanilla, orange and vanilla IPA. There's been a lot of, I'll talk about that Burial came in last week from Asheville. A lot of people look for that this time of year. And like all of the fresh, like the fruited seasonals, this time of year is when they start coming out. Strawberry and different other blueberry beers, stuff like that. Those are all coming out this time of year too.
It's funny you mentioned, by the way, the piggy bank decanter. Had someone yesterday on the show text line send me some pictures of these. They're unopened Jim Beam decanters. They're old, and it's like they're cars. They're like Model Ts or other old model cars. And I looked them up, and they look like they're from like the early 70s, and they've never been opened. They're 50 years old. They've never been opened. Are those things worth anything?
No, Beam made a ton of decanters. So if you ever go to Jim Beam, they have a. I'm sure some of them are worth something, but they have a decanter room. They did tons of them in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, they still make decanters. They released in the gift shop. There's a Superdome decanter in that room. I remember seeing very specifically.
My grandfather has one. It was from the. He's got it. He's got it in a case. Yeah.
I've got a few random ones. I've got a few Wild Turkey ones. I will never drink the liquid because I don't know when they stopped using lead paint. But they used lead paint back then. So you got to be careful about drinking out of those things. You have to do research and make sure that they didn't use lead paint.
That's a good point. So I did. It's funny because my grandfather has this case, right? He had a giant bar in his house. He's got this case with some very, very like old, rare bottles, that some unopened, some that are just collectibles. And so we were looking at some of like his old Jack Daniels specialty bottles and stuff. I mean, Taylor, some of those things, like one of them he has, I looked on the on secondary unopened, very hard to find. They're like $3,000. I mean,
it's a Jack something or another.
Yeah, it's like an old unopened specific decanter. Like I looked it up, looked exactly what it was, and people were like selling unopened ones on the secondary market for like $3,000.
Yeah, so as far as like the collectability market, Jack it's like Coca-Cola. Tons of people collect Coca-Cola stuff. Same with Jack, and like Makers. That's another huge collectible whiskey. But Jack has made so much collectible stuff over the years. Like if you were to collect everything, you'd have to have a warehouse full.
Yeah.
But I know there are stuff that they do have certain things that are worth a lot of money. So.
It's a fascinating thing to see. All right, Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director, Calandro's. I ate up all of our time. I got 30 seconds. You got anything else?
No, it's Masters Week. Drink a lot and watch golf. I was there on Monday. I wish I could talk more about it, but
why can't you?
Let's practice around, drank beers, and it was the most incredible day of my life ever.
Even more than the birth of your children and marrying your wife?
My God, man, it's tough.
You're gonna.
I know my wife.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I put him in this position. I got 3 seconds. You just dug your own grave. I'll see you.
See you, man. Bye.
AFR.
Speaking of which, optimize. GeneratorPeople.com. GeneratorPeople.com. A lot of people experienced this today. Storm came, power went out. Happened at our house. You know what happened as soon as the power went out? Within about 20 seconds? Our Generac automatic home standby generator kicked on, and boom, we had power. Running everything in the house. Y'all, there's basically 2 questions people ask when it comes to an automatic home standby generator. Number 1 is, can I afford it? With Optimize, they have financing options that will fit anybody's budget. You just have to make the commitment to say you want an automatic home standby generator. And then who do you call? Well, there's so many companies that sell generators. Optimize, it's all they do. Sell, service, install Generac automatic home standby generators. This is the only thing they do. They have inventory, they have the knowledge, the know-how, the professionals to do the install. They're the best. They're Louisiana's #1 Generac dealer. GeneratorPeople.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. It is officially on to Arkansas for John Calipari, hired today as its men's basketball coach one day after confirming his Kentucky exit. 5-year deal, starting salary $7 million annually, $1.5 million less than what he was making at Kentucky. NBA, Bucks got the best case scenario regarding star Giannis Antetokounmpo. He avoided a serious Achilles injury. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the left Achilles tendon fully intact. Return to play depends how quickly his calf strain heals. Bucks up a game on the Knicks, 2 on the Magic for the 2 seed in the East. And there is concern for Milwaukee while Giannis is sidelined, says Woj.
This is a Bucks team that was put together to go deep into June. But there's a world where without Giannis Antetokounmpo early in a playoff series that they can fall behind and maybe not be able to catch back up when he comes. They have not played well.
Adrian Wojnarowski on NBA Today. The Bucks are 7-10 their last 17 games. Bucks rookie Victor Wembanyama out tonight against OKC due to right ankle injury management in the second half of a back-to-back.
As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Kurt Helin's going to be here in about 15 minutes. NBC Sports National NBA writer wants a perspective on the Western Conference playoffs. Pels the big win last night. The Suns lose, so the Pels are back in the sixth. They're in the playoff. If it started today with 3 to go, we'll get some national perspective here in about 15 minutes. Jay Johnson's squad in desperate need of a feel-good. I would say a 16-0 run rule whitewashing of McNeese helped to exercise some of those demons. And the pace car was none other than LSU's leadoff hitter, Jared Jones, who homered not once, not twice, but...
The 2-2, a swing, a charge to right field, and this baby is gone! Third home run of the night for Jared Jones. Oppo Taco to the diamond deck. Drives in 3 more.
Last time an LSU baseball player hit 3 homers in a game was Leon Landry back in 2009. Now, I don't know necessarily that this LSU team is going to achieve the heights the 2009 team did, of course, winning a national championship. But last night looked and felt like way more what we expected from this LSU team. Dominating pitching and offense and bats for days and a ton of talent. And it all came together for the Tigers. By the way, afterwards, you would expect Jay Johnson was asked about the decision to lead off Bear Jones.
I'm trying to get better. I mean, it literally didn't make the lineup until an hour and 20 minutes before the game today. And just, it's got to get guys consistent and just try to maximize the talent that we have. And, we did it with Tommy at Arkansas. And, so throw one of those guys in the leadoff spot, and we're 2 for 2 with a leadoff homer. So maybe there's something to that. But he had a great night tonight. I'm sure that's a game he'll remember for a long time.
By the way, Normally LSU drops the lineup about an hour before first pitch. So 6:30 game, 5:30 is when they would drop the lineup on social media. So we always talk about it. You can confirm, Paulie. I always have a place setter on our rundown at about the 5:30 segment. LSU lineup reaction. We'll go through the lineup and we'll look at who's where and we'll react to it before the game and we'll give some thoughts on it. And it was delayed yesterday. And so Jay even said, he didn't make the lineup until an hour and 20 minutes before the game. So it was probably why it was delayed getting posted yesterday. And one of the things we've talked about here so much is it feels like he is it's like whack-a-mole, just trying to hit buttons to see whatever will work. And he kind of acknowledged it there. By the way, live on air yesterday, we were introducing the Otterlock segment. This was my react because we're introducing Otterlocks and the lineup drop. This was my reaction when we saw Jones was leading off. The one and only, the incomparable and often income Jared Jones is leading off tonight. What are we doing? What are we doing? We've jumped the shark with the lineup changes. Anyway, yes. But Jared Jones is not exactly your prototypical leadoff guy, but he homered 3. By the way, and he doubled. He was 4 or 5 with 3 homers and a double. But it just goes to show you Jay is trying whatever. And if you want some practicality behind it, yes. You don't ever want to walk a leadoff guy, so you're not going to pitch around him. And if you feed him a fastball, he'll drive it out of the yard. Now, that's atypical because you want to have ducks on the pond for your leadoff, for your run producers. But look, you put up 16 runs on 10 hits. Congrats to Jake Brown, who homered last night, his first career homer. And I'll tell you my biggest takeaway from this game is, and I don't know if it was just because it was a midweek game and he did it because he could, but Jay Johnson has gotten to a point, and you heard him, you could tell it in his tone, the tone of his voice in that comment about leading off Bear Jones. I'm just trying to win and trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to do it. And it almost feels like, again, I don't know this definitively, but it almost feels like Jay is saying, you know what? We have gone with our veteran guys this long, and they're not delivering. So bleep it. I'm going to play the young guys who have super high ceilings, that were number 1 players in their state, best player, this or that, top 100 prospect. And I'll go through the bumps of, the growing pains, because I know the payoff at the end is going to be much better. And so what did you see last night? Braswell was benched. They played Kucherak at short. I'm not telling you that's what they're going to do this weekend, but he looked pretty good. There was a ball that was a grounder to his right, ranging deep in the hole toward third base. He got to the ball. He didn't have time to make the throw, but he got there. He was 0 for 3 at the plate, so he didn't really produce offensively, but okay. You mentioned Jake Brown. Hit his first homer. Ashton Larson has become more of a regular player in this lineup now. Stephen Milam has been really an everyday player at second base. Paxton Kling, who I get it as a sophomore, but is a draft-eligible sophomore, and his bat has started to come along. Last night, Paxton Kling had another good night. He was 1 for 2 at the plate. He doubled, and by the way, his double was to right center. When what we've been talking about with Paxton all year is, hey, stop trying to dead pull everything. Go up the middle and the other way. You're letting the ball, you don't need to give you a baseball lesson, but obviously as a hitter, if you're going up the middle the other way, you're letting the ball travel farther. You're getting more information the closer the ball gets to you. And so you hit it the other way. That's what sort of turned Alex Milazzo's offensive game around, was his ability to his willingness to go the other way. So give me bloop and seeing eye singles to the opposite field all day over 3 strikeouts because you're trying to dead pull everything. So there's a lot of reason to look and say, I think that's where Jay is settling. He is trying to find a lineup, an everyday lineup, that he can run out there and trust the guys to produce. And maybe he stumbled upon it last night. Maybe not. Maybe he runs this same lineup out there game 1 against Tennessee and they get walloped and you're back to square one. But it was also about this time last year where you started to settle into a groove of who your everyday guys were going to be. And, you know, you would have loved for this team to be much you would love for the win-loss record to look a lot better than it does right now, particularly in conference play. But maybe the offense found something last night with the younger guys. It was great to see Cade Anderson get out there and pitch well again. 3 innings pitched. He struck out 4, didn't walk anybody, allowed just 1 hit. Dutton gave you 2 innings, didn't allow a hit. Cam Johnson went out there, got you a couple outs, got a strikeout, but he also walked a guy. We saw Cade Woods for the first time in forever. Was that his second outing of the season? Just his second outing. When was the last time he pitched?
Game number 2.
Second game of the season.
Yep.
So, I mean, Cade Woods was the guy when they brought him in from Alabama, thought could have a role in this bullpen. Hadn't pitched all year, but came in with 2 outs in the 6th, got a strikeout. And then Aiden Moffitt looked awesome in the 7th. 3 up, 3 down, struck out 2. I mean, maybe there's something to this where Jay's like, you know what? Bleep it. I'm just going to play the young guys. And maybe that's the route that they go. We'll see if they do it this weekend against Tennessee. Also, you know, something else we saw offensively was some aggressiveness. Can you play this, please? It's number 8. And go ahead. This was Jay Johnson on the aggressive style offensively.
Just want to play better baseball and, you know, score in more ways. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my man hitting 3 bombs over here. But if we can do that and do stuff like this, that's the difference in getting the spread to finish those games off. And, you know, so it's good to see.
I mean, I know we always talk about me doing the never bunt thing. And yes, I mean, like I'm overt with that. But the thing that I always clarify is I'm always okay bunting for a hit or to score a run. I will give up an out to score a run. Of course, that's no different than a sac fly, of course. My point has always been I'll never trade an out to advance a runner because in the run scoring probability, there is no scenario where your probability of scoring a run increases when you give up an out. You could have runner at second, nobody out. You bunt him to third. Now, runner at third, 1 out. Your run scoring probability mathematically is less 1 out runner on third than no outs runner on second. So I'm never okay giving up an out to advance a runner. I'm always okay giving up an out to score a run. And they did that last night. They ran a squeeze play. The run came home. Errant throw. And actually, it wasn't even an errant throw. Larson never stopped and scored from second. So, yes, put some pressure on the defense. Give me a P-Money special here or there. See a hit and run, man. It was nice to see. It was refreshing. I get it. I get the opponent. It was McNeese. I get it. It was a Tuesday night against McNeese. Doesn't do anything for you in the RPI. The committee's not going to care about that game. It's the thing I always talk about with midweek games. It's more about what are you learning about your team in those midweek opportunities. And maybe Jay Johnson found something with these young guys. We'll see when they go to Tennessee this weekend. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Come back. We'll talk some Pels. Kurt Helin from NBC Sports will join us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Get on by and see our friends over at Rouse's. Maybe you're going to be hanging out at the house tonight on this Wednesday. Love telling you about Rouse's. Swing on into any Rouse's location. You want to get dinner? Go on in the door. Go straight to the left. You'll see all of the prepared food options. You want sushi for the family? It's already prepared. You want some fried catfish platters? They got it, already prepared. You want maybe something from the seafood market to throw on the grill, some fish, awesome options. You want boiled seafood, crawfish, shrimp, crabs? They got it. Grab and go, bag tag, ready. It's at Rouse's. Let Rouse's take care of dinner tonight. And always, if you're making groceries, get on by Rouse's. 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between, and they love their commitment to being local, to sourcing local items and their Rouse's branded items. It's Rouse's. Check them out at Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, or download the Rouse's app. Rouse's. This feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Plant lost it, tipped by GTA, up the floor, Zion, head of steam! Throw it down! Big fella, two hands!
Tell you what, get back, you don't know me like that.
Graf and JD, I don't know that anybody has more fun calling games than those two guys. A guy who loves basketball, Kurt Helin, NBCSports.com, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here as the Pels, 3 games to go, making that push. Kurt, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's absolutely my pleasure. A big picture question first. The New Orleans Pelicans with 3 games to go. What's your thought on this team?
In a West where after Denver, it feels a little wide open, and different teams come, in and out of vogue for get hot and gets everybody's attention. It feels like this is a good year for them to make a run. If out of that, let's say 6th seed, you can. You're not on the Denver side of the bracket, probably, hopefully, and then you can make a run and win a round, maybe 2 with a little luck if the matchups are there and Ingram can get healthy. So everything just feels more wide open than it has for a while. Frankly, in both conferences, it's just there's a juggernaut at the top.
So how big is the gap? It's interesting you say that because, obviously we've even seen Denver not stick and stay in the 1 seed in the West right now. But how much of a gap is there with Denver and it's Minnesota, OKC, whoever, everybody else in the West?
I don't think it's as big as it's been, or frankly, as big as it is like in the East with Boston, who's not just 14 games up, but like everybody else is busy shooting themselves in the foot. Denver isn't as deep as they were last year. They're going to miss Bobby Brown. They're going to miss just some of the depth that was there. But at the end of the day, they're proven. Like, they can go to a two-man game with Murray and Jokic, and there's just not an answer. Nobody has quite figured it out. And that puts them up there. I think there's a little gap. I have right now, I think Dallas is probably the second best team because Luka Doncic is a great clutch playoff player. If your second best player is Kyrie Irving on the court, that is, he's so smooth. And they've been playing really good defense since the All-Star break, and they went and got another big in Gafford. So they look like a threat, but there was stretches. I think that's where I am with the Pelicans, right? And you guys, do you get this sense down there? There's times you watch them, you're like, that team's really good. That team's really dangerous, but it's not consistent.
So that's actually a great segue. When you were talking about teams in the East shooting themselves in the foot, that was my thought when the Pels have a 6-game homestand. They go 1-5, and they lose to San Antonio, and they lose to Orlando. So when you see this team, and you see that, a team that quite honestly, Kurt, has been better on the road than they've been at home, which Pelicans team, is it the one where you go, oh, that, or the one where you go, man, they lost 5 or 6 on a homestand when they were pushing to not only to avoid the play-in, but potentially to be the 4 seed and get home court in a first-round series.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because they're acting sort of like a young team, except, with CJ and frankly, Ingram and stuff, they're not really that young, but they're acting like a young team that tends to be, like they did it last night, right? They woke up and beat Portland, but that first half, man, that started that game. They're like, they just don't seem to take some stuff seriously. And I think the advantage in the playoffs is they will come and take it seriously. They will be focused. You're not looking past anybody in the playoffs. The problem is you get the exact same thing from the other team. Nobody's on the second night of a back-to-back. Nobody's been out all night in New Orleans, although, if you could swing that, that'd be good.
Kurt Helin is with us. He's on Twitter at Basketball Talk. You'll give him a follow. By the way, you must have had that handle like the day Twitter launched. Basketball Talk? How long have you had this handle, man?
I got it when we first started, and I got hired by NBC, but that was 2010. So Twitter wasn't exactly new, but there were a lot fewer people and a lot less bots on it then.
So suffice to say, I didn't launch my Twitter until 2012, and I've been on radio a long time. So, yeah, man, to get at Basketball Talk, you're an OG. Yeah. Props, respect to you. Let me look at the next 3 for New Orleans, because I think the next most obvious question is how does this shake out? Some of the analytics say that the Pels have a 73% chance of landing as the 6th seed. So you got 3 to play. They're at Sacramento, at Golden State, then home against the Lakers. What do you see playing out over those 3?
Sacramento is one of those teams shooting themselves in the foot lately. They haven't been playing well. They're not an easy team to beat. I mean, Domantas Sabonis will get a double-double. I'll just tell you now. It's going to happen. He's got, 50, 60 in a row, 50-something, 60 in a row now. Fox is good, but they're not deep. They're not consistent. They really, really miss Malik Monk, who might be the 6th man of the year. And without his depth, they're kind of lost. I just saw the Warriors in person last night against the Lakers, and they're playing really well. They have found their groove. That might be the toughest one of the ones left. They have figured out who they are and what they want to be, and they've got something to play for right now as they try to climb out of they would like to not play the Lakers in a 9-10 situation. So they're hoping Sacramento keeps stumbling and they can get past them. And then that last game against the Lakers is interesting. They're big, they're physical, but you never know on that last day of the season, right? We'll see what people have to play for. And in the Lakers case, they would love to rest guys, especially going into the play-in. I just don't, we'll see where they are at that point, or if they're going to. There's a 50% chance that. I hope you didn't buy your tickets to see LeBron and AD, but
people here are going to boo AD even if he's in street clothes. It's just the way just the way that's going to go. So that's really interesting. So what you're saying is, if you get to the final day of the regular season, and the Lakers are locked into that 9-10 matchup, if they're 9 or 10, it doesn't matter. They're obviously not going to fall. I mean, everyone else has been eliminated. So if they're locked into that 9-10, they rest LeBron and AD?
Probably, especially those guys right now. They're both. I mean, Anthony Davis didn't play last night because he's a little banged up. LeBron has been battling an ankle thing and a leg thing for the second half of this season. Plus, I mean, you have to remember he played more minutes than anybody. He started playing in the NBA. I think it was during the Harding administration. Like he's been in the league forever, and so they're trying to get him rest down the stretch when they can.
It was President Bush's first term.
Yeah,
it was Bush's first term whenever he started in the NBA. A couple more for you. Kurt Helin's our guest, NBCSports.com. He's on Twitter at Basketball Talk. Again, at basketball. I mean, how did you not just get basketball? I mean, that would have been something too. You could have gotten that handle maybe back.
I was trying to, because at the time we were NBC was doing the pro football talk, pro basketball talk. We were all going for that, but then I just kind of kept it.
That's so good. Okay, if it does stay as is projected, it looks like New Orleans would end up playing OKC. That's a team that they've not had great success against. If that is the matchup we see in the first round, how much confidence should I have that the Pels could advance?
That's a tough matchup because, they've got obviously an elite player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The other thing that you have to like about them is for a young team, a genuinely young team, they're poised. They are very good in the clutch. They don't lose themselves much. The other flip side of that is their guys just have never been to the playoffs. I mean, as a team, they just really haven't been there. They're still trying to figure stuff out. And the other part of it is, and this is where I think with the right matchups and a chance for Zion to really shine, you can be physical with them. You can push them around. They are not obviously Chet's kind of obviously a little bit thin, but they're just not a big team. They have struggled against Minnesota and the Lakers and the really big teams. And I think if you can be physical with them, it gives them trouble.
Before you go, I would love a thought. Again, this is just a big picture one. I would love a thought on Willie Green and the job he's done.
I think he's done a great job of melding this thing together. It says, look, Zion and Ingram are not a puzzle piece fit, right? Like it's not just been natural and easy and simple, and he had to do some work there. CJ certainly helped, but the locker room stuff is part of it, but part of it's just the X's and O's and getting guys in the right spot. And he has a really good feel for these guys and what works and what doesn't. It's been, I'd say I don't think he's going to end up on a Coach of the Year ballot because that always kind of goes to guys who exceeded expectations, and I'm not sure that's completely what happened with the Pelicans, but his job getting them there is impressive. And I know there's been moments of frustration with him in New Orleans, but I think overall he's done a really good job.
Kurt, this is fun, man. Appreciate a couple minutes. Hopefully we do it again maybe as we get closer to the playoffs.
I look forward to it, man. Take care.
Our pleasure. Kurt Helin, NBCSports.com. If you want to give him a follow, he's at Basketball Talk. Seriously, like, that's you nab the handle Basketball Talk. I mean, that would be like the origins of like Google AdWords. Like if you owned the word basketball. I mean, it's insane. Like that's how OG that guy is on Twitter. And I want to see how many times he's tweeted in his. If you've had that handle since 2010, how many times have you tweeted? We appreciate good insight there. I always like getting the national perspective on the Pelicans sometimes too, because you're the old adage, you can't see the forest through the trees. And sometimes when you pull back and you talk to people who aren't in the weeds every day, you also get a less emotional viewpoint. And that's a guy that said, look, outside of Denver, it's wide open. And when the Pelicans are good, it's like, oh, that team, yeah. And they can be. And the fact that they've been better away from home than they've been at home, they're kind of a scary, sneaky little team. I mean, the odds are obviously Denver is gonna Denver, and you heard him say it. I mean, you got Jokic and Murray, and they're awesome, and they're the champs, and they're probably going to win the Western Conference and go back to the finals. But if you avoid them on your side of the bracket, it could be a minute till you see them, and we'll see. You got it?
Yeah, he has 105,200 posts on Twitter.
105,000.
Dude.
That's what happens when you've had the same handle for 15 years. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. If you need tires, get the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. right? That's what Shaw Bills does. They guarantee it. It's not just a talking point. They have the Charlie's Dozen, which I tell you all the time. That's a dozen benefits of buying your tires at Shaw Bills. One of them is the Charlie's Price Match Guarantee, meaning if you buy tires at Shaw Bills, within 30 days, if you find that tire advertised cheaper, they will refund you 125% of the difference. That's their plea there at Shaw Bills. They're going to sell you the best tires. Michelin, Firestone, Bridgestone, BF Goodrich, Toyo, all of them. And they're going to sell them to you cheaper than anybody. And the reason they do that is because they know when you come in, they're going to give you such an exceptional experience. The customer service experience, like they always say, they treat you like family, is going to be so good that when something does happen inevitably to your vehicle and you have to buy tires again or you need service, you're going to go to Shaw Bills. And they've been open since 1968. I gave them an extra decade. I think they've done pretty well for more than 50 years. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. Okay. Well, now I got a break. Come back. Mel Kiper's got a new mock draft out. It's a 2-round mock. No surprises with the LSU guys, but I mostly wanted to run through who he's projecting the Saints to pick at 14 and 45. And the one prospect in this draft, I think this, I believe this, there is a prospect in this draft that I believe is the linchpin. Depending on what happens with this prospect will determine how the draft unfolds. And where Kiper has him going is very surprising. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR. Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I don't want to leave you in suspense. I went to break and I told you there's one prospect in this draft that I think will determine, that is the linchpin, right? Depending on where this prospect goes or does not go, will in many respects determine how the draft plays out. I kept everybody in suspense. Muse and Paulie didn't get it. I asked you in the break. Paul thought it was Olu Fashanu. I'm just fired up. Kiper does have the Saints taking Olu Fashanu. I'm going to get to that in a second, though. But the player is Bo Nix. And Mel Kiper has Bo Nix going 33 overall. So in round 2, to the New York Giants in a mock trade with Carolina. So he's got the Giants taking Malik Neighbors at 6 overall in round 1, but then in round 2 trading up to get Bo Nix at 33. And the reason I think Bo Nix is the linchpin in this draft is because we know this is going to be a top-heavy quarterback draft. The first 3 picks are most likely going to be quarterbacks, and maybe the worst-kept secret in this draft is that Minnesota covets J.J. McCarthy and could move up to 5 to take him there. The question then is, okay, what quarterback goes next? And your options really are Bo Nix, Michael Penix, but does either one of those guys, most notably Nix, move into round 1? I'll remind you, just for instance of like a Bo Nix mock draft roundup. Mike Tannenbaum at ESPN did a mock draft, and he had Bo Nix going 12 overall to the Denver Broncos. The Athletic did a mock draft with Bo Nix going 25 to the Denver Broncos. There are plenty of mock drafts that have Bo Nix outside of round 1. The Draft Network has Bo Nix going 47 overall, like back half of round 2 to the New York Giants. You can kind of understand how this is all sort of playing out. USA Today Draft Wire, they have Bo Nix going 44 to the Raiders. The reason that I think all of this gap is so impactful is because Pro Football Network has him going 22 overall. So the point being, we know that in the NFL, you got to have a quarterback, and the quarterback needy teams are going to be desperate to take their guy. It's one of the reasons you've seen so much chatter around teams convincing themselves about J.J. McCarthy, even though the guy never had a 3,000-yard passing season in college. But if you're desperate for a quarterback, you've got to go find your guy and get your guy. So is a team like Denver or the Giants or somebody else, do they fall in love with the prospect, in a moment of desperation take him in round 1 at 12 or at 22, whatever it may be? Because ultimately, that's the linchpin for the quarterback-needy teams, because you know the first 4 guys that are going to probably go in the top 5. Well, the other teams that still need quarterbacks, which is roughly half the league this year, that could be in the market to draft a quarterback, do they get antsy? Are they convinced on a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix, or are they going to take him early? Or are you looking more late day 2, early day 3 for a guy like Michael Pratt? Well, that's going to matter because that's going to dictate who else is available and where guys go and how, if you move up and all the trades that may happen, the dominoes that can fall. So, yes, I mean, the fact that Kiper is sitting there looking at Bo Nix at 33 overall, I do think is very interesting, considering there's a chance. I mean, you don't typically in mock drafts see a chasm with a player where they can go as high as 12 or as low as 47, right? You just don't see that. It's not to say guys, for whatever reason, don't fall. That happens. I mean, there were mock drafts before that draft in 2007 that had Brady Quinn 3 overall. He's sitting there in the 20s before Cleveland finally took him. You see that. I mean, Geno Smith sort of infamously fell out of round 1, right? I mean, he was there to be drafted. How embarrassing. And then he didn't end up going to round 2, fired his agent the next day. Like that happens. You see those slides, but it's rare, man, that you see this chasm where it's, some people think he goes 12, border on the top 10. Sometimes in the back of round 2. That's a massive, massive difference. So it's not like, man, are you going to go middle of round 4 or beginning of round 6 when you're talking about the upper crust of the draft at the top of round 1, you tend to have a more focused approach. So, yes, I do believe what happens with Bo Nix is one of those sort of seismic instances that's going to move and dictate the flow of this draft. All right, it's after further review. I want to get to the other stuff Kiper talked about. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Got to drive Erica's brand new Atlas today. I have a crossboard. I love my crossboard. But Mama likes all the bells and whistles. I'm not as needy. I don't have the SEL with all of the souped up thing, the premium everything. Mama likes the premium. So it's actually really nice to drive, man. It's like driving a spaceship. It's so awesome. Like even at night, the LED lights. You should get these purple LED lights that run throughout the car. At night, it all lights up. It's just so fine. Check it out. When I tell you all the time, it's like the style, the feel, the performance of luxury without the cost. I mean, that's what you get when you drive a Volkswagen. You drive one of the safest vehicles on the road. It's affordable. Right now, they got 0% for 60 months on new Tiguan's. Go check one out at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? So Kiper's mock draft, 2-round mock. No surprise with the LSU guys. He's got Jaden Daniels going to Washington. He's got Malik Neighbors going 6 to the Giants. Those are pretty commonly where all of these guys are mocked. And quite honestly, there's not a lot of surprises with what Mel Kiper has in his mock draft. And the thing that I am prayerfully hoping for in this draft is that the Saints have an opportunity to draft Olu Fashanu out of Penn State at number 14 overall, and that is where Mel Kiper has the Saints going. One of the things about Dennis Allen over these past 2 years in the draft that's been maybe a bit of a change from Sean Payton's tenure is it's been pretty easy to identify what the Saints' needs are in a given year, and they go address them. When 2 years ago, we all knew they needed receiver help, and they drafted Chris Olave. He was the guy that was tied to the Saints early. They picked him. They also needed help at tackle because you saw Teron Armstead leaving free agency, and they drafted Trevor Penning. Now, they didn't hit on Penning. They hit on Olave. They didn't hit on Penning, but they went receiver, offensive tackle. A year ago, we all knew they needed defensive line help. Brian Brzee was a very commonly mocked player to New Orleans. They took him. We knew they needed help on the edges after losing Trey Hendrickson. They took Isaiah Foskey with an early round 2 pick. We knew last year, everyone talked about running back. They're going to take a running back. A lot of people thought it would be Tajay Spears from Tulane. It ended up being Kendre Miller from TCU. The needs for this team seem pretty obvious to identify, and at least in the past 2 drafts with Dennis Allen, they've stayed true to drafting that way. So when you look at this team, the most obvious needs right now are offensive tackle because you have an uncertain future with Ramczyk, and you don't have a left tackle. You drafted Trevor Penning to be that guy. It hasn't worked out. You had Hurst and Pete there last year. Hurst took a pay cut to stay. Pete's a free agent right now, so you need a left tackle. You got to, I guess you could run it back with Penning and see, but you don't even have an option there right now. So that's your most gigantic need. That's very likely what they're going to do at 14 or trade up if there's someone they absolutely fall in love with to get that player. For me, I'll say it again, I think a best case scenario for New Orleans in this draft, best case, is they stay at 14 and Olu Fashanu is there out of Penn State. That's a guy who a year ago, had he come out, a lot of people projected would have been a top 10 pick, maybe the number 1 tackle in the draft. And if that's a guy that's sitting there for you at 14, that feels like a gigantic win. I'll say it again. It's like he just happens to be in a draft that's tackle heavy, where you've got Joe Alt and J.C. Latham and, Fotanu out of Washington and Fuaga out of Oregon State. It's all the guys with F's in their last name. Fashanu, Fuaga, Fotanu. We'll get them all. But it's a deep tackle draft. I say the comp is Brian Thomas. If Brian Thomas was in last year's draft, he's a top 10 pick. He's just in a draft where in this mock that Mel Kiper's put out, he's got 10 wide receivers going in the first 39 picks. 10 out of the first 39 picks. You didn't have a wide receiver come off the board until the end of round 1 last year. So This just happens to be a draft where the Saints' two biggest needs are offensive tackle and wide receiver. And the two deepest positions, maybe outside of quarterback, the two deepest positions in this draft are offensive tackle and receiver. So it's no surprise that at 45, Kiper's mocking a receiver to New Orleans, and it's the guy we talked about earlier this week who the Saints brought in for a top 30 visit, and it's Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky. And it makes a lot of sense because Malachi Corley is a slot receiver. You're losing Michael Thomas. He's physically a different player. He's 5'10", whereas Thomas is 6'3". But he's a slot receiver, fits that mold, and is a guy that a lot of teams really like. Whatever the case may be, however it plays out, I think this much is true. If the Saints stay at 14, there's going to be an elite offensive tackle there for them. And if they stay at 45, there's going to be an elite wide receiver. They're going to get value at their two biggest need spots in this draft if they just stay put at 14 and 45. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're aboard with us. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Remember, every single Wednesday is trivia night over at Pluckers, both locations. So eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, and on Wednesdays, play trivia at Pluckers. About 45 minutes from right now, we'll do some Pluckers trivia with Muse. Muse has had he's on a little bit of heater. Muse nailed the wrestling trivia last week, was 3-0. Week before was 2-1. What was that? What was that round? I don't remember.
I don't think it was. I think it was just general. Yeah,
general trivia was 2-1.
Pretty sure 2-1.
So Muse is trying to go for 3 in a row. You're maybe you hit rock bottom, Muse. Maybe you're on the elevator up. We'll see how it goes. It's encouraging. You'll probably screw it up.
Maybe. I'm not going to say probably. Maybe.
I haven't looked at the questions yet. I'll look and see.
Okay.
All right, Muse will do Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. I love this promotion. You know, one of the things, of course, we talk about with Gordon all the time is the fact that if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Get Gordon and get it done. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. And Gordon and his team have recovered more than $2 billion in damages collectively for their clients over those 3 decades. But Gordon does so much for the community. And it's always our great pleasure to be able to tell you about things like Gordon's Grads, where Gordon is giving away a dozen laptops to high school graduates. So if you are or have a high school graduate in your family or know of one, tell them to go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com, and enter to win. It's simple. There's a little form right there on the homepage. Enter to win. If you're going to college or trade school, Gordon wants to help you out with an opportunity to win a free laptop courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Go to gordonsgrads.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2. I do want to talk about the Saints welcoming a very well-known running back to the Saints facility for a top 30 visit. We'll get to that after the top of the hour. Right now, Musu has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Malik Neighbors racking up them airline miles. It's been a busy week for the former Tiger as he is preparing for the NFL draft. Big part of that, obviously, is your visits, your interviews, all of that. He met with the Cardinals and the Chargers last week. He was in New York visiting the Jets. Then he's going to Chicago. That's today. He's in Chicago today visiting the Bears. And tomorrow, Malik Neighbors will be in Indianapolis. That was a previously unreported visit, but was scheduled. That comes from Cameron Wolf. So that's, let's see, 3 visits in this week, 5 in the last, 10 days or so.
Getting out there.
Hey, man.
Also featured on Hey Rookie. If you haven't seen it, good stuff from Malik there.
Love that. And we've been telling you here for 2 weeks now that teams are moving him up to number 1 on his board. And I think that's evidenced by all the interest he's getting with these visits.
He's good at football.
He was not bad. That is, that's for sure. NBA action. Naz Reid last night, 3 points, 2 rebounds. You might ask.
3 points, 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
what happened?
You know the answer, Muse.
Oh.
You know what happened here.
What happened?
He should have stayed.
He should have stayed. He should have stayed, but that's not actually what happened. He got ejected 8 minutes into the ball game. A flagrant 2 foul. Gave an elbow to Davis, hitting him kind of in the side of the head.
What's Davis's first name?
It's a great question. Jaron? Is it Jaron?
You just watched the clip and saw the back of his jersey and just went with Davis.
No.
I spotted that a mile away.
That's not what happened. What happened is I watched the clip, listened to the ref announce the ejection, and he called him Davis. So I went with Davis.
Just went with Davis.
That's what happened. I think it's a pretty soft call.
Williams.
I think it's a pretty soft call.
Yeah.
To eject a player. I mean, he didn't really swing. He didn't swing the elbow.
I did you so dirty there.
Hey, I owned it. Yeah, sorry. I don't know the...
That's when you go with, hey, Nas had an elbow, threw it in the back of old boy's head from, who are they playing? Let me know who they're playing.
The Wizards.
Those are the Wizards. What are they wearing?
Right? Isn't it bad?
That's the story. It's not Nas's ejection.
City Connect.
It's whatever those are. The city, I am so sick and tired. I hate the Skeletons uniforms.
All right, easy.
I hate all, no, they're terrible. I hate all of these stupid City Connect uniforms.
City Connect.
Wear your uniforms.
Baseball's the worst for the City Connect.
They're all terrible.
They are, but baseball's, jeez, did you see the Phillies? I mean, the Phillies is so bad. Anyway, so Nas got ejected, and I think he got hosed.
For throwing an elbow into the back of the head of
Johnny Davis. Point guard for the Washington Wizards. Or actually, he might be a shooting guard. Who cares? 12 points and 5 rebounds for Duop Reith against the Pels last night. Hey, how about Dylan Cruz?
How about him?
Starting the season in Double-A with the Harrisburg Senators. 4 for 5 last night. 3 singles, but a home run.
Is that
4
a bomb to
RBI.
dead center?
It is
my
a bomb
God.
to dead center field.
That was
by
like
Dylan Cruz.
That's like put it on a string from home plate to dead center. Oh my
Just
God.
wrote part of a 4-hit night. 4-hit, 4 RBI. That's pretty good. That doesn't stink. Aaron Nola earlier today. We had to get that in. Aaron Nola earlier today, win number 2 on the season. 6 innings, 2 runs, struck out 3. Braves roughed him up, but he's already got the ERA down to 4.5. Tigers in the pros.
Presented by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Your first call, if you're thinking of buying land, should be to First South Farm Credit. That's what Ben McDonald did when he was buying his hunting property. You've heard Big Ben talk about First South Farm Credit. They're the best. They've been helping Louisianans finance land and buy land since 1916. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all. Hour number 3 coming up right after SportsCenter. Don't you move.
AFR.
I am thrilled. You know what? As we head to the top of the hour, let me grab my big old 64-ounce bottle of Evermore natural artesian water. Take a sip right here. This is going to be so refreshing. Hang on. You know, a lot of people think that's water. Actually, there's a person that works at this company. I was telling him about the deal with Evermore. He goes, "I got water right on my faucet." It's like, no, you know who that is if I use the voice. The people in this room do. I said, nope, it's not the same. This isn't your municipality running it through a purification device. There's nothing added or taken away. Evermore is Mother Nature's masterpiece. It's a natural artesian well in Covington, Louisiana. Hundreds of thousands of years in the making. They drill deep into the ground. They pipe that water out, put it in the bottle, and it's yours to enjoy. It's Evermore. EVAMOR, available at great local retailers or at evermore.com.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said today Raptors forward Jonte Porter could be banned by the league permanently if what he's accused of winds up being true. Porter's currently under investigation by the NBA after multiple instances of betting irregularities over the last several months. Other NBA news, Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo has avoided a serious Achilles injury. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting his left Achilles tendon fully intact. Returning to play depends on how quickly his calf strain heals. It's not just on Bucks players to make sure they hang on to second in the East in Giannis's absence, points out ESPN's Kendrick Perkins.
Now it's a chance for Doc Rivers to actually shut a lot of people up. He gets to start to change the narrative, right? Because he's going to have to coach, really dive into his bag, and I believe he can. I believe he will. I mean, it's going to be a hard task, but I think they got enough pieces to get it done and to survive until Giannis gets back.
The official announcement today from Arkansas, John Calipari is its new men's basketball coach. 5-year deal, starting salary $7 million annually.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tombley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jaxon Howard hit the portal. First, but won't be the last.
It's hump day.
My unofficial count is LSU is at 88 scholarship players.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Gotta have 85. More to come.
It's hump day.
Stay tuned.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Masters tomorrow. Hour 1, we had a guy that led the Masters tournament on the show.
It's hump day.
John Peterson.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Former Tiger. Led after one hole on Thursday.
It's hump day.
11 years ago.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Even par. Hey.
Still counts.
Once sat atop the leaderboard at Augusta.
It's hump day.
Kurt Helin was here last hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He's healing our need for NBA talk. Yeah, you liked it a little bit? No?
Yeah, that was bad, actually. Yeah, like you. I don't like that one.
I was hurting over our lack of NBA talk. Thank
It's
God
hump day.
I had some Kurt Healer.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
There's something there.
You just got to find it. You just got to dig a little deeper.
You know, I love puns. You know this about me.
I do.
I love a good pun. All right. No, LSU baseball won as well. You fired up at the team last night? Did they turn the corner after last night?
No, I'm not gonna say they turned the corner, but it was nice to have a.
Come on, Muse.
It was nice to have a game that you could talk about, but just nothing but positives.
Give the people what they want, Muse.
No.
Give them the unabashed homerism.
No.
Give them the feel goods, Muse.
No.
Give them the hope.
Oh, you
as
can
they
have
head to
hope.
Rocky Top.
Oof. Yeah, you need that aggressive offensive approach all you can this week, bud.
Play my comment at the end of the show again. Whenever we found out Bear Jones was leading off. The one and only, the incomparable and often income Jared Jones is leading off tonight. What are we doing? What are we doing? We've jumped the shark with the lineup changes. Anyway, such an idiot.
All he did, 4 for 5, 3 homers.
Muse.
Good.
In fairness, you weren't on mic, but you threw your hands up in the air and had the same damn reaction.
Absolutely.
We all did. I mean, Jay said it after the game. He's like, I didn't make the lineup until an hour and 20 minutes before the game. I just, whatever. It was basically like, whatever. It is. He's just kind of like going, all right, you. Let's just put it in a bag, shake it up, and see how it goes. And it worked great yesterday. Maybe he found it. He is leaning on the young guys, so that much is apparent. Okay. We'll get to more of that in a bit. And we will do Pluckers Trivia here bottom of this hour. So we'll see how Muse does. Winning weeks, back-to-back weeks for Muse. 3-0 last week, a perfect week. So Muse is a 5 of his last 6 overall in questions. So we'll see. As we get closer to the draft, 2 weeks from tomorrow, my goodness, I'm so fired up about this. I love the draft. I'm a draft nerd, self-admitted draft nerd. The fact that Mike Detillier no longer does the M&D draft report, like there's a piece of my soul missing. Candidly. I mean, I'm the draft nerd that would sit there with my M&D draft report, marker, and a pen, and I would like follow along as the draft went along, and I love the draft. So 2 weeks from Thursday, the draft gets underway, and the Saints are continuing to host their top 30 visits. I've explained before, but every team is allowed, almost like official visits in recruiting, they're allowed to bring in 30 prospects to their facility. You work them out, you can take them out, you can interview them, all that sort of stuff. If there's players maybe you feel like you didn't get a look at the Combine or Senior Bowl or at their pro day, it's a way to kick the tires even closer on some of these prospects. And the Saints are bringing in a running back. And it's someone that's familiar to people around here, and that's MarShawn Lloyd. You might remember MarShawn Lloyd started his career at South Carolina, played 2 seasons for the Gamecocks, and then this past year transferred and went to USC. He played at both USCs. He played USC East and USC West. So for Carolina, and then this past year for Southern Cal. And the thing about MarShawn Lloyd is he has been a really productive back in his college career. So he played three collegiate seasons. His first year at South Carolina, he averaged 3.5 yards a carry, 3.6 to be exact. His second year, in 2022, he averaged 5.2 yards per carry. And then this year at SC, averaged 7.1 yards per carry. So in 3 years, MarShawn Lloyd went from 3.6 to 5.2 to 7.1 yards per carry. Y'all, that was on 116 rushing attempts. It wasn't like he averaged 7 yards a carry on 13 attempts. You know, he just broke a couple long ones late in games. Dude had 116 rushing attempts and ran for 820 yards. Yes, MarShawn Lloyd is a really talented runner, and he's also pretty good in the receiving game. He had 232 receiving yards this past year at Southern Cal in Lincoln Riley's offense, where, yes, they're going to float their backs out and throw them the football. So I, as a prospect, all on board. 5'9", 220. You know who he reminds me of? Mark Ingram. Now, I understand the Saints are not reinventing the Sean Payton offense again. You've brought in Clint Kubiak, and you want the offense to look far more like San Francisco's offense. Now, you don't have Christian McCaffrey. Maybe you do an Alvin Kamara in a sense, but I think the better thought is actually Kendre Miller could be that style of player. I'm not saying Kendre Miller is becoming all-pro, but I'm telling you, Kendre Miller, as far as his game, his style, more closely mirrors Kamara and McCaffrey. But you always need depth at running back. And I think MarShawn Lloyd is a really good player. So check on MarShawn Lloyd, the player. Now the question is, where might he go in the draft? Is he going to be available to you in this draft? I kind of searched a bunch of mock drafts to see, okay, where are they projecting MarShawn Lloyd? Now, just because where mock drafts project him, that doesn't mean it's where he's going to go. But just to give you an idea, okay, I didn't find a single mock draft that had him in round 1. And, I mean, I don't think you probably won't see a running back taken in round 1. But Mel Kiper today put out a 2-round mock draft. He was not in that. MarShawn Lloyd was not in the top 2 rounds. Field Yates last week had a 2-round mock draft. MarShawn Lloyd was not in the 2-round mock. As a matter of fact, Matt Miller from ESPN a couple of weeks ago did a 7-round mock draft, and he had MarShawn Lloyd in round 4. The 7th pick of round 4, number 107 overall to the Giants. So remember the Saints draft capital this year. You have the 14th pick and the 45th pick. And my hope, like I'm sure many of you that love this team, are hoping the Saints go tackle at 14, wide receiver at 45. The 2 deepest positions in this draft, and at both those spots, you're very likely going to get great players. Some great tackle will be available at 14. Some great receiver will be available at 45. I hope they check those 2 boxes. And then the rest of the draft is kind of like, okay, let's see where it goes. You don't have a 3rd-round pick. You don't have a 4th-round pick. You have 4 5th-round picks and 2 6th-round picks. So you have a lot of draft capital that you can package together conceivably to move up and take a player that you like if it's a position of need. The real question is, where does running back fall on position of need? And when you're a team that's missed the playoffs 3 years in a row, and this year is projected you're over-under at 7.5, you got a lot of needs. Yes, you could absolutely use help on the interior defensive line. While you have bodies, you don't necessarily have a lot of production at defensive end outside of Carl Granderson. Yes, Cam Jordan, but he's coming off his least productive year since his rookie season. I feel like you got 3 really good linebackers now with Davis, Pete Werner, and Willie Gay. And you have your starting cornerbacks as well. The spot defensively where you really have a need is safety. Because you have Tyrann Mathieu, who's aging. Marcus May is gone. I don't know how much do they really feel committed to Jonathan Abram and Jordan Howden. If they feel great about it, great. But if not, you need a starter at safety. You certainly need depth there. So I'd put safety there. But all of the needs are on the offensive side. You need offensive linemen. You need receiving help. Yes, you'd love a productive wide receiver. You might have, you have resources invested in Foster Moreau and Juwan Johnson, but they didn't produce for you last year. You've been searching for a pass-catching tight end since Jimmy Graham left the first time. So much so that you brought Jimmy Graham back out of retirement last year. So, yeah, running back is a need. Look at what you have. Alvin Kamara, you could off-ramp, like the way they structure Kamara's deal is you could off-ramp from Kamara after 2024. So this could very well be, he's under contract beyond this, but you could off-ramp off of him in 2025 because he's got like a $23 million cap number. You'd save essentially with Kamara. If you did off-ramp from Kamara this year, you'd save something like $13 million against the cap. Hang on, I'm looking at it right here. In 2025, so Kamara's cap hit in 2025 is $29 million. His dead number is $10 million. So you actually save like $19 million if he's not on the roster in 2025. So this more than likely, barring a restructure or something, would be Kamara's last year. Jamal Williams. You signed Jamal Williams to a 3-year, $12 million deal. But really, after this year, you could off-ramp off of Williams' deal, and you got like $1 million in dead cap money. So very practically, this could be the last year in New Orleans for Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams, which means you have Kendre Miller on a rookie deal, and you could bring in another running back on a rookie deal this year. So in 2025, your 2 running backs would be Kendre Miller in his 3rd year and whoever you draft this year in year 2. So I like getting younger at that spot. I certainly like having options, considering over the last, really Kamara in his entire career, as great of a player as he's been, he's the Saints' all-time touchdown leader now as well. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy, and especially since Mark Ingram hasn't been here. You're that tandem where Ingram took a lot of those between the tackles reps. Kamara's just taking more of a beating in this running game. So, yeah, I'm good taking a running back in round 4 if MarShawn Lloyd is there and you can get it for, and you can trade up into round 4 for a manageable price. It's one of the things when you get deeper into the draft, we say so hyper-focused sometimes on what it takes to move up like in the top 10. Sometimes you'd be talking about, okay, well, like, what if you traded next year's 4 and one of your 6s this year? And then you net MarShawn Lloyd. Well, that means you don't have a 4 next year, unless you trade up again, which the Saints will always do. But that's the Saints' approach. They treat draft picks like credit cards. Just use it in the future. I mean, as long as there's a team willing to move back and you recoup capital, you find a trade partner, yeah, you can make that happen. So if you're on the phone calling every team as you're going through the draft, that guy stays on the board, generally you can find a way to make a deal, and that's been the Saints' approach. So, listen, my feeling with New Orleans in the approach to the draft has generally been, I don't mind them trading up. I would rather you be convicted on a player, like really be bought in, trust your scouting, your evaluation, say, we want that guy. He's our guy. And so you're aggressive and you go get him instead of running the risk of somebody else take him and left with what's left. So I'm good with that. And generally have been as the Saints have been in win now mode. I've softened a bit now because I think you're in a situation like in 2017 where you had back-to-back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons where you needed more players. Like when the Saints were in 2018, you're the 1 seed in the NFC. You can't draft 7 players because 7 draft picks aren't making your roster. So I'd rather you package picks, move up and take 4 or 5 guys you're really convicted on. I'm softened a little on that now because you do need to remake your roster with young, inexpensive talent on rookie deals. But it's also a thing where I don't know that 8 draft picks are making the team this year. Could 5 or 6 make it? Absolutely. So you take your top 2 guys, and if you're convicted on a guy in round 3 or 4, you want to move up and get it, I'm going to be okay with them doing that, generally speaking. And maybe it'll be MarShawn Lloyd. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Love telling you about our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Dr. Blake texted me earlier today, as a matter of fact. I tell you, these people are really my friends. Dr. Blake texted me saying, what time's the spring game on Saturday? 1 o'clock. You have 2 options, Google or text Scone, and I'm there for you. But anyway, Dr. Blake Williamson is a man that, look, I trust him with my eyes. My one big reservation when I had LASIK, my one big reservation was putting a laser on my eye. I was nervous about that. And when I sat down with Dr. Blake, he explained to me that LASIK is actually the safest elective procedure in human history. What do you have to worry about? Nothing. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020. Go for that consultation. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all. It's after further review. Otter Locks coming up later this hour. We'll see what the Otters got us betting on. That was a tough beat last night, Muse. Tough beat for you.
Well, it wasn't ideal. And for Otter. Tough beat for Otter as well.
Not for me.
No, not for you. You made a pretty heady play.
Let me show you my DraftKings account. I'm on a heater. Live betting these basketball games.
Rub it in. Sure. Go ahead.
Our buddy Chris Marler, who's now working with us, he sent me a string of I got to go. Oh my God, it's late. He sent me like 5 straight texts. I didn't reply to any of them because I was looking at my DraftKings. I was trying to live bet the Pels last night. So Otter gave it at minus 13.5. And I was like, I know this team. I know the Pels. Like, they're going to sleepwalk during a stretch of this game, and Portland is going to go on a run, and that number is going to come down. So I ended up live betting the Pels minus 5.5. So I hit last night.
Comfortably.
And easy. I finally went back, I answered Marler's text. I was like, I'm sorry, I was waiting to live bet a game. Because I didn't want to go off my app because I didn't want it to come back, the number to come back. He goes, what game were you betting? I was like, I can't tell you that. Because the gambling gods would be offended. And I don't want to piss them off. You got to do what you got to do.
Confidentiality agreements here.
Yeah, got to do what you got to do. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, Friday over at the Renaissance is the next evenings at the Renaissance. Been telling you all about this. If you have been on the fence or been wanting to get by the Renaissance, hey, listen, this Friday, our friends from Sugarfield Spirits will be at the Renaissance Hotel Friday from 6 from 6 to 8:30 p.m. 6 to 8:30 p.m. this Friday for evenings at the Renaissance with Sugarfield Spirits. It's going to be such a great night. You go into the Renaissance right there in Bluebonnet near I-10. Tallulah is the restaurant inside of the Renaissance. And in Tallulah, they have a beautiful bar area, and it's an indoor-outdoor flow. You can get your cocktails at the bar. You can sit at the bar, any of the comfortable tables. They have TVs above the bar to watch sporting events. They have an outdoor flow with a beautiful water and fire feature if you want to sit in their tall-top tables, enjoy this beautiful spring weather, and you can have some one-of-a-kind cocktails courtesy of Sugarfield Spirits. No tickets. Just get on by this Friday, 6 to 8:30 at the Renaissance Hotel.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I'm glad you're rolling along with us here. I got a text. We were talking about the draft. Patrick Gerard said, where do you see Pratt from Tulane going? There have been mock drafts that have had Michael Pratt to New Orleans in the mid-rounds. There was a quarterback mock draft that ESPN did that projected where every quarterback in the draft or would go in the draft. And they had the Saints taking Pratt, I believe, in round 4 or 5. So, and I'd be good with that. I mean, it's kind of – we talked about it a smidge yesterday, which was, you know, or maybe it was late last week. The Saints historically have sucked at quarterback. there's no other way to say it. You've had two elite quarterbacks in your entire existence in 57 years. You had Archie Manning, who you took in round 1, and Drew Brees, who you signed as a free agent. And the Saints, in their history, have used a first-round pick on a quarterback once, and they've never used a pick on a quarterback in round 2. The only third-round pick they've ever used on a quarterback is Garrett Grayson. So do you understand? In the Saints' entire history, in the 57-year history of this organization, the New Orleans Saints have used 2 picks on a quarterback within the top 3 rounds. They were Archie Manning 50 years ago and Garrett Grayson. That's it. If what you're doing ain't working, do something different. So either start drafting quarterbacks high or just draft a quarterback every year and hope you hit on one of those mid-round picks because of volume. So I would be great if they did. I mean, I know you took Jay Kaner last year. Don't care. Take another one this year. Like, you're not going to win big until you find a quarterback that can actually win for you, and it ain't going to be Derek Carr. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Spring game is coming up this weekend for LSU, and Brian Kelly, one of the things that struck me, and we've talked a lot the last couple of days about what BK had to say after practice on Saturday. And one of the things that BK talked about that we haven't circled back to, and we talked about Trey Holly, we talked about the running back depth, we've talked about Kyron Lacey. One of the things that BK talked about, as so many people have had questions defensively, is the job Jacobian Guillory has done this year in spring ball so far. Like, here was Brian Kelly about Jacobian after practice on Saturday.
In terms of stopping the run, Jacobian Guillory has been outstanding. I mean, he's singularly been, I think, in terms of what Bo Davis is looking for, he's been outstanding, and he's been a stalwart. We got to find the other guy, and that's what we're looking for. We're trying to develop that second guy, and then we'll have some depth guys behind him.
Can you play the start of that again? I just want to hear his verbiage again with how he described Jacobian stopping the run.
In terms of stopping the run, Jacobian Guillory has been outstanding.
Be very clear. I'm not saying he's wrong. I haven't been in practice every day. I've been once. So I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm hopeful that that is accurate. What I can tell you is the one practice that I went to this past Saturday, and we saw the team periods, the first team offensive line dominated the defensive front seven. The rushing attempts that we saw, and while it was a thud, I mean, there was a play where LSU ran a ball in the A-gap with Josh Williams, and he didn't get touched. He was into the secondary, didn't get touched. So, I'm very hopeful for Jacobian. And I think part of the thing, look, last year, Jacobian Guillory, he had 27 tackles. He played in every game. Of his tackles, though, only 4 were solo tackles. You had Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo a year ago, who, Mekhi missed the last month of the season, as we well know. But when you look at the production from your defensive line, you get all the way down to Jordan Jefferson with 36 tackles before you had a defensive lineman. So these were your leading tacklers a year ago. Major Burns, Greg Penn, Andre Sam, Harold Perkins, Omar Spates, Whit Weeks, Zy Alexander, Sage Ryan, then Jordan Jefferson. Your 9th leading tackle before you got to any defensive lineman. That's a problem. And that was a big problem you had on your defense last year. Full disclosure, I think the world of Jacobian Guillory. Both, I wish the best from him as a player, and just as a person, I think he's awesome. He did an NIL deal with our friends over at Sunshine, John Deere dealer, and I got to do a video shoot with him out in a cane field last year. And he's awesome. Like, great young man, Louisiana kid, loves LSU, coming back for his 5th year, graduate. Like, he's exactly what you want. Like, in the NIL portal era where fans think like your true college football, like that's gone. He's an illustration of a guy that is all of those things. So I want great things for Jacobian. And I hope he does have an awesome year. And you heard BK say they're looking for the other guy. Well, you've got Jalen Lee, who's a fifth-year player. You brought in Sean Washington, who's now a third-year collegiate player. Georgia, JUCO, now LSU, who's massive. You're bringing in Gio Paez from Wisconsin, who I think there's a lot of upside there. You got a five-star and Dominic McKinley coming in as well. They're clearly not done in the portal. They've offered Philip Bleedy. He's going to be on campus for a visit. And I think maybe the point is, when you have numbers, eventually someone's going to stick. I mean, think about a year ago. You went ham in the portal at defensive tackle when you added Jordan Jefferson. You added Jalen Lee. You went and added a bunch of guys in the portal. You added Paris Shan from Arizona, who ended up playing in. But the point is, like, you went and added a bunch of guys out of necessity at defensive tackle. And the guy that stuck was Jordan Jefferson. He was easily your best guy. So it feels like you're going to have a lot of options this year again. My real question is, because last year you leaned so heavily on Jordan Jefferson, Mekhi Wingo, and then when Wingo got hurt, Mason Smith, can you actually have a rotation? Because that's when you're going to be your best. Real quick, the other player that BK talked about defensively that has really stood out so far in spring was Major Burns. And I think this was listen to I'm sure this is going to stand out to you as well. Listen to the word BK used to describe Burns a year ago relative to how he's playing now.
The one guy that I really think has made more progress than any one individual player in coverage is Major Burns. Major was a bit sloppy last year, but there were many times where, we didn't have him in coverage on the right guy at the right time. He's been really, really good. I've been happy with his off the field as well, in the classroom, doing the right things. He's really taken a step up in the program and put himself squarely in a position to be a leader.
Sloppy in coverage. And I don't think BK meant that as an insult. I don't think he was taking a shot at the kid. I think he was just giving you an honest answer. And let's be honest, there was a lot of that last year at LSU. So, but a big part of getting Major Burns to play better is having him at the right position, man. Major Burns doesn't need to be playing strong safety. He needs to be in the box. He's a big dude who's physical and wants to play close to the line of scrimmage and tackle. In the star position, that's going to suit him really well. The thing about Sage Ryan is, as fans have poked Sage Ryan since he's been here, and the major reason for that is because he was a five-star. And right or wrong, that's what happens. When guys are highly recruited, the expectation follows. It was no different with Mason Smith or anybody else that's a five-star when they get here. There's just this more awareness of the player, and there's a greater expectation. But also think about where Sage Ryan has played in his career. He was injured as a freshman with the hamstring deal. He's played nickel, and last year was playing boundary corner. This year he's playing safety. He's playing a more natural position for him. I don't want Sage Ryan playing nickel, covering slot receivers. And I don't want Sage Ryan playing boundary corner. Playing in space as a physical guy, my last line of defense, to tackle and defend downfield, yeah, I'm good with that. It matters. Like, put guys in a position where they're going to have the most success as opposed to just where you need them. It's the old Blake Gill. Now, I wonder if Blake Gill's listening. I say it all the time. Like, I wonder if anybody's ever told him this. It's the Hannah Griff line about Blake Gill. Loved Blake Gill when he was batting seventh and playing second base. Didn't like Blake Gill so much when he was batting third and playing shortstop. Where are you playing on the field? Are you playing where it's best going to suit you? Or are you out of position because your team needs you to be? That's what these guys were doing last year. So put them in position and see how much better they can be. All right, it's after further review, y'all. We're not going to break, come back. We'll do Plucker's Trivia with Muse. Otter Locks here in about 15 minutes. By the way, Jimmy did send us a pick. Just real quick, early pick. He's got Reds on the money line if you want to play. Reds on the money line, and that starts at 5:40. So it starts in 7 minutes. So if you want to get in on that one, I'll tell you candidly, I am dipping my toe in the water on MLB here as we get started. So let the Otter kind of find his tempo, his pace here, his sea legs for the MLB season. And then I'll start going full units, but I'm not betting full units on all these plays. I'm going half a unit, quarter unit, just to kind of have some skin in the game, but waiting to see if we really get on a roll like we did with college basketball. Okay, stay with us. We'll continue on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Make sure you have your preseason AC tune-up. Call River City's 1 Hour Air today. I'm going to give you the number. Call for your preseason AC tune-up, 752-0001, 752-0001. The analogy I always give is the best one. You would not drive your car across the country without first taking it to the shop. Make sure you got proper air pressure in your tires. Make sure your oil is changed. Your tires are rotated. The check engine light isn't on. The brakes are good. Like, you want to make sure everything is running properly before you go across the country. Same thing. Before your AC embarks on the long journey of a Louisiana summer, make sure it's running efficiently, because you don't want a small problem to become a very big, very expensive problem. So call River City's 1 Hour Air for the preseason AC tune-up. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com, or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we're glad you're aboard with us here. Speaking of Pluckers, it's time for some Pluckers trivia. But remember, trivia every night over at Pluckers, both locations. Every Wednesday night over at Pluckers, both locations. Nicholson 7:30, 8 o'clock Bluebonnet. Stop that. Reverse it. I just screwed up that whole thing. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Is everyone confused now?
Yeah, I mean.
Cool. Let's do some Pluckers trivia. Hit him, yes. All right.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia.
News.
How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
You're getting
right.
2.
Your confidence
No,
in
you're
me
getting
always.
them. No. That's not true.
Me.
That's not true.
Yes,
Remember,
it is. It worries
a couple of
me.
weeks ago, I told you, Muse, I think you're good. There was one 50-50, but I was like, there was one that was like, you're definitely getting it. It was the, Now I'm looking back at the questions. So last week you got them all, wrestling. The week before, you got 2 out of 3. You missed you got the one that was the Apple TV with Reese Witherspoon, the morning show.
Yep.
But if there was a timer, you would have been buzzed. And then the third one was Rocky 3.
Yeah.
With the Hulk Hogan, right? Okay. But I feel like there was one I told you, like, you're getting one. The week before was a disaster.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
The week before was the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I don't even remember what I said.
Which direction lean?
Yeah.
And you were like, right.
No, I said right or left. Like, I didn't understand the question, is what it was. Because I asked. I was like, right or left, or are we talking like directional east-west? And that was the deal there. But there's been times where you've been
And the point was right or left just depends on where you're standing.
Yeah. Anyway, there's been times where you've been super confident, and I've just completely whiffed, though.
Right, you're getting 2 of these.
Okay.
There was a time where I told you super confident. Like, there was one sports answer was like hockey or something.
I don't know, man. I mean, we've been doing this segment for over a year now. I mean, that could have been...
No, it was recent.
All right.
Well, I forgot, man. We haven't mentioned today the Breggy Creole Crush sauce.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried it yet.
Me either.
Most times I DoorDash Pluckers to my house, and they don't have the Breggy. Last time, they haven't had the Breggy Creole Crush on DoorDash. So you got to go in to get it. And when I usually go into Pluckers, it's like for lunch, and I get a salad.
See if they'll just bring you like a little cup and just dip your finger in it.
But
and try
on DoorDash, you
no, I mean when you go in, you can still get your salad, but just be like, I just want to taste it.
That doesn't even feel right. Oh, next week is Taylor Swift trivia.
Oh, I'm screwed.
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't care what my wife is doing next Wednesday. We're going to Pluckers trivia because we are going to clean up.
Can E-Rock be my lifeline next week?
Sure.
I mean, I got no chance on that.
Erica and her friend Danae are the 2 biggest Swifties that I know. I'm not saying they're the biggest Swifties in the world. I'm just saying they're the 2 biggest Swifties I know.
Yeah.
The 2 of them, we are like next Wednesday. I will be at Pluckers for trivia, and I'm just going to tell my wife, get them all right, and give me the goodie.
You can try the Breggy Bomb Crush when you're there.
That's what I'll do.
Because you'll be there, and it won't be for lunch, and you'll get wings and not a salad.
And I'm going to drink a bunch of beer too.
We're solving problems here today. This is strong.
Good time. All right, Muse, you're getting 2 of these.
Okay.
You're 100% getting 1 of them.
Okay.
And you're 98.76% getting 2.
It's oddly specific.
The third one, I'm a little concerned about.
All right.
But here we go. Sammy Sosa is Dominican like me, and I'm so proud of him. Remember Dominican Al? Is that an SNL character, Dominican Al?
Yes.
You don't remember that. It's okay.
I know what you're talking about.
You don't remember it. It's okay.
I don't have to remember it. I can know what you're talking about.
You don't remember. It's okay. Sammy Sosa played his final MLB game as a member of what team? Oh, no. This is the one I was 98.
That's what I'm like. I have to think about where he went. Hold on. Gosh, that would have been what, like 2008 or somewhere? Or 2000.
Show ends at 6.
Yeah,
Show ends at 6.
I cannot picture him in any other uniform except the Cubs uniform. Like, I cannot. Reds? I don't know. I cannot remember.
The Rangers.
I could not picture him in anything other than a Cubs uniform. What year? Does it have the year?
No.
It would have to be like mid-2000s.
It wasn't 08. It wasn't that late.
05, 06. Somewhere in there, though.
Let's see what his last season was. Sammy's last season. Actually, it might have been because I think Terrio played with him. That would have been like that. Let's see. 07 was his last season.
Okay, that was yeah.
So he started his career with the Rangers. You remember skinny Sammy Sosa in the Rangers? I guess you can collect baseball cards. So he went Rangers, White Sox, Cubs. And then he went to the Orioles and then to the Rangers. Back to the Rangers to finish his career in 07. Okay. Well, Muse, you're going to have to pull out. You're getting this. This is the one you're getting.
I had the.
This is the one you're 100% getting.
I had the end of his career pretty pegged. That's a good thing.
In The Sandlot, because obviously you were in The Sandlot.
We haven't made that joke in a while. I was not in The Sandlot. I was watching Sandlot clips earlier today for something
Muse,
coming.
for a long time would wear the hat that Smalls wore in The Sandlot.
It's not true.
And so Terrio made fun of him all the time. Called him
It wasn't
Smalls.
that hat.
In The Sandlot, what was the dog that the kids had dubbed the Beast?
Are you on like what
The dog's
type
name.
of dog? Oh, Hercules.
Yes, Hercules. Okay, that was the 100%. All right,
It was a
Muse.
Mastiff.
All right, Muse. Which animal's name translates as river horse in Greek?
What?
Which animal? Just think about it. Just think about it. Just think about it. Which animal's name translates as river horse in Greek?
Okay, I'm assuming it's some type of fish type animal. If it's going to be river horse, dude, I don't know Greek, or marine life. I don't know. I don't even have a guess.
Hip-hop?
Really?
Hip-hop Anonymous? Stop you! You're giving the easy one!
River horse, really?
River horse.
Okay.
Hippopotamus.
Why'd you say think about it? Like, why would that give that?
Horse, big animal in water. Big animal in water. Hippopotamus, a large animal in water.
It could be a whale's a large animal in
But
water.
it's not a horse.
Neither's a hippopotamus.
I understand, but it's not a fish. A hippopotamus isn't a fish. River horse.
Fish?
Pony?
Hip-hop?
Hip-hop Anonymous? Damn you! That is from Big Daddy, for those who don't know. That's one of the movies that if you ever quote a movie from there's like a handful of movies that if you ever quote one of those movies, any line of the movie and Muse knows the line, boom, you'll get a laugh. Big Daddy is one of those movies. Big Daddy, Wedding Crashers, Meet the Parents.
Happy Gilmore, for
Happy
sure.
Gilmore, yes. No one looks like that because you're wearing one shoe. There it is.
Hunt had a Happy Gilmore quote on his Twitter the other day that got me. I was just scrolling and he got me good.
Got him good. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Ooh, we are late. We got to get to Otter Locks. Remember, if you weigh or measure something, if you want to weigh a hippopotamus, a river horse, as it were, Michelli could do that for you. If they could weigh your luggage, they could certainly do that. They weigh tons of crops for farmers and other agriculture. They can calibrate devices that, like whenever you tear paper towels, well, there's a certain PSI that should be calibrated for that to make it easy to tear. Well, what measures that? Well, the devices that do, Michelli calibrates them. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Thousands of different applications for dozens of different industries. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. We're going to be short on Otter Locks because Muse took his sweet bleep time getting all those questions wrong. If you just hurried up and given your answer.
Not all of them.
Well, you missed 2 of the 3. So your winning record is gone. You did not hit a winning streak. 2 in a row, not 3. And we'll wrap up with Otter Locks next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources. Go see Jareth Knockan and my friends over at Glow Resources. They do awesome work, man. One of the things I remember talking about Jareth with one of the first times I went over there, and this isn't like a conceited thing. It's just true. He said, one of the reasons a lot of people do business with us is we're fun. People like doing business with us. And it's true. Go to their office and you'll get it. The whole office, it doesn't look like an employer solutions agency. It's just a really cool place where they put artwork all over the walls and they let some street artists come in and decorate some walls. It's awesome. They're right there on Perkins Road too, by the way. Perkins at Quail Oak near Pennington if you want to go see their headquarters. But they're not just headquartered here in Baton Rouge. They've got offices in New Orleans and in Houston, in Miami, and they service companies all over the world. It's Glow Resources, complete employer solutions. This isn't a temp staffing agency. They're a first resort to get you the employees you need. GLO, glowresources.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Otter, how are you?
Good, man. What's up, man?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Otter. I waited live bet Pels last night -5.5 and cashed the ticket.
Well, good for you.
Look, I mean, y'all should have had a rocking chair on the 13.5. It was a 20-point lead with 4 minutes to go, and boy, they just pissed it away.
Yeah, last 20-point lead was 2.5 minutes to go. We're done. We're done with the NBA till this playoff starts. So, I mean, just the way it is.
Yeah,
but,
3 to go.
There you go. Got a lot for you.
Okay.
The Cincinnati-Milwaukee game is in rain delay, so they will not be starting for another good 20, 30 minutes. So you got time to get in that if you missed out already. Before we get to the consensus picks, let's go to a little fun parlay here. Little gumbo pick here.
All right.
$5 bet. Okay, this pays $20,578. Like 205 times. It'll pay you a little over $1,000. $5.
Okay.
A top 20 parlay. Top 20 finishes. Hideki, Matsuyama.
Yep.
Steve.
Okay.
Corey Connors,
Yep.
Connors, Patrick Reed,
Okay.
Adam Scott,
Oh, Jesus.
and the Burley Irishman, Shane Lowry.
Okay.
Hideki, Speed, Connors, Reed, Scott, Lowry.
Let's go. Top 20.
$5 will pay you $1,000.
I'm ready. Let's go. I'm in. I'm in.
Consensus picks of all of our contributors, our handful of contributors today. We had 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names.
1 minute remaining.
Xander Schauffele.
Okay.
Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
Theegala, Theegala, the Pepperdine guy.
Yep.
He's been hot. Top 10 finish last year, too. Cam Young, not Cam Smith, Cam Young.
Okay.
And Tony Finau.
Okay, those are the consensus picks, huh? Schauffele,
Yep,
Speed.
it's 5 consensus picks. Yeah,
Theegala,
I like
Cam.
Hideki Matsuyama a lot. His odds have come down considerably, but still, I like him a lot.
By the way, we had John Peterson. He said lock it in. Joaquin Neiman's finishing top 10, so I'm going to make a play on that as well.
There you go.
So.
My favorite Chilean golfer.
Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at the original walk-on. We'll be watching it, hopefully, if it gets past this rain tomorrow.
Thank you, Otter.
All right, man. Good luck.
All right, man. We'll see you. Muse, Paulie, thanks. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR. Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.